Rowe, 5 minutes.
Thank you to the committee for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Mark Fabro, and I'm the President and Chief Security Scientist of Lofty Perch, a company focused on providing control system cybersecurity services and research. I'm a member of the UTC Smart Networks Security Committee, the Chairman of the Canadian Industrial Cybersecurity Council, and Co-Chair of ISA 99 Working Group 10. I am here today to provide insight as to what measures can be taken to help protect the modern electric grid from cyber attack. There is no doubt as to whether or not our electric infrastructure will continue to converge with Internet-based systems, and as it matures, it will inherit cyber vulnerabilities. We know there is a problem. We know the cause of the problem. We know what works to correct it. We just need a plan to implement. Our challenge is to ensure that as we go forward, we have done our due diligence in proving solutions as secure and reliable, and that we protect what may be the most vital of all critical infrastructures. But it's important to note, the findings regarding cybersecurity risk are not ubiquitous across all the entities supporting the bulk power system. Moreover, they're not unique to single countries, entities, or operators, and they most certainly are not indicative of an overall generally poor security posture. We continue to witness excellent examples of effective cybersecurity activities from many entities and observe progress that does not align with the popular opinion that the bulk power system is ripe for total cyber compromise. The complexity of the problem in trying to measure how secure or resilient the grid is from cyber attack cannot be overstated. Often, and erroneously, the cybersecurity problem is framed under the assumption that there is simply a single uniform grid and that a mitigation strategy, be it technical or policy-based, should be applicable in all areas. Nothing could be further from the truth. Clearly, the strategy for securing the modern grid requires significant utilization of information security technology, security research, information sharing capabilities, and the integration of these in a manner that meets the challenges associated with current and future power delivery requirements. To that end, it becomes important to understand that many of the cybersecurity vulnerabilities in the bulk power system that were once only theorized have indeed been proven. Sometimes the risk is connected to the core technology. The vulnerabilities in hardware, in software, and various protocols can manifest in a multitude of attack vectors, even ones that could involve the compromise of large aggregated systems that could impact millions of consumers simultaneously. But as researchers and subject matter experts, our ability to communicate findings in a broad and effective manner is often impeded by the absence of an effective information sharing system. Well, thankfully, there is good work being done today that can be leveraged for a secure grid tomorrow. We have seen the NERC standards in action, reducing some cybersecurity risk profiles by orders of magnitude. We have seen the creation of non-invasive security assessment tools that create usable guidance for securing energy management systems. We have seen extensive energy sector roadmaps that have provided for the creation of technologies that can be used for security in the electricity domain. And as proven time and time again, there are public-private partnerships already in place contributing to the mitigation of security threats to the bulk power system. Rather than develop new plans that are tied to more aggressive standards and enforcement, we need to ramp up the efforts in place now and support the continuation of what has been proven to work. I feel that there are 3 areas that should be focused on to meet the emerging security challenges: research, improved standards, and procurement language. First, research. The research effort regarding the cybersecurity of the bulk power system needs to be expanded and nurtured. A sanctioned activity that promotes the independent assessment of power system technologies without the risk of legal retaliation or negative attribution is necessary. In essence, cybersecurity researchers must be protected. This research must also include information sharing and cyber incident response functions so that we can better prepare for, detect, and respond to incidents unique to bulk power system architectures. Second, refining standards. The continued development of cybersecurity standards for grid elements is required. This effort should leverage standards that are already in place and accepted by the national and international community of stakeholders. These standards should be updated to be more flexible so that they can accommodate shared threat and vulnerability information, but not so flexible to allow for erroneous reporting regarding critical assets and cyber assets. The standards should also incorporate instruction regarding how to implement emergency orders related to specific and imminent cyber attacks. And third, for procurement guidance, this public-private activity should leverage the existing body of work done for industrial control systems and enhance it with sections tailored to the electric sector. Simple refinement of existing procurement guidelines can have a tremendous influence in bulk power system cybersecurity, and it can be done immediately. To the committee, Madam Chairwoman, Ranking Member, I thank you for this opportunity to testify here today, and I commend you on your attention to this very important matter. I will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thank you very much. Chair now recognizes Mr. Shanti for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, Chairman of the full committee, Ranking Member, Mr. Lundgren, and members of the subcommittee. My name is Michael Asante. I am the Chief Security Officer of North American Electric Reliability Corporation. As a designated electric reliability organization in the United States and much of Canada, our responsibility, or dedicated to doing so, is to ensure reliability of the bulk power system. It's a very sobering responsibility, especially in light of the comments today. The last time our organization testified before this subcommittee, we committed to improving our response to cybersecurity. I'm here confidently to report that we have done so, but we realize there's much more work to be done. Cyberspace is proving paramount, both as a national and an economic security issue. The compromise of our nation through this indivisible battleground has cost billions of dollars from our economy in terms of theft of both intellectual property and the disruption of information systems. Even though NERC is not aware of any cyber attacks that have directly affected the reliability of power systems in North America, we have no illusions of immunity, as we are well aware of both government systems and business systems that have been successfully attacked at home and power systems that have been disrupted abroad. The United States and Canada must be ready to act in the event of a specific and imminent cyber threat. We believe there's an important gap in authority when it comes to these emergency situations in the United States, and additionally, emergency authority should be put into place, and put into place soon. NERC and the electric sector have been working to answer President Obama's broad call to action stemming from his 60-day cyber study completed in May of 2009. And we are preparing for Canada's forthcoming National Strategy and Action Plan for Critical Infrastructure and our National Cyber Strategy. Some of these efforts include ongoing revisions to NERC cybersecurity standards with the goal of building a stronger foundation. Phase 1 of these revisions was submitted to FERC for approval in May. Work on additional Phase 2 revisions continues, and we're about to complete a thorough evaluation of how we can incorporate portions of the NIST framework into the NERC standards. I personally believe another important element of the revisions will be to consider how best to construct broad requirements for training and awareness programs in incident response and reporting to apply to all entities of the bulk power system. We have also instituted and improved our voluntary alert mechanism, whereby NERC is able to reach nearly 5,000 professionals in control rooms, power plants, and engineering centers across North America within hours of being informed of a vulnerability or threat. NERC has issued 9 such alerts over 2009. Efforts also include expanded work on further assessments and deeper analysis of risk. NERC's Cyber Risk Preparedness Assessment, conducted in close coordination with industry, is designed to evaluate the preparedness to dealing with challenging cyber threats. While the pilot group will be small, the goal of this assessment is to develop a toolkit for entities so that they may assess their ability across the industry. NERC is also partnering with the Department of Energy on a very important effort to breathe new life into the previous work to address high-impact, low-frequency risks, such as space weather, electromagnetic pulse, and pandemics. Many of these are focused on cybersecurity risks. While physical risks to the security of the power system are a very real concern, our understanding, the system redundancies, coupled with existing authorities, far exceed what's in place to address a very structured and well-resourced cyber adversary. The threat is like no other. And to demonstrate my point, I will compare it to the rash of German U-boat attacks in the coastal waters surrounding the United States that began in May of 1942 and lasted for almost a year. The submarine threat was a mysterious one, much like the ever-present but more deeply masked cyber attacks of today. The threat is playing out beneath the cyber seas, but unlike submarine warfare, it has not stopped at our shoreline. Attackers are able to strike without being in harm's way. Cyber weapons are often not flagged, and their true origins are unknown and therefore unattributable. And most importantly, they've been largely successful in evading the instruments available to prevent and deter it. This is the risk of power grid. That is, the interconnected system of wires, power plants, and digital controls is still evolving and still not yet fully understood. The potential for an intelligent attacker to exploit a common vulnerability across the system, impact many assets at once, and from a distance is one of the most concerning aspects of this challenge. This is not unique to the electric sector, but addressing it will require better intelligence and new thinking on top of sound operating and planning analysis. Complicating this issue, much of the information about security-related threats remain classified in government communities with restricted opportunity to share information with affected asset owners. From a regulatory perspective, NERC believes the scope of Section 215 of the Federal Power Act, under which NERC both develops and enforces mandatory standards, appropriately places a focus on ensuring the security and the reliability of the bulk power system. With that said, the increasing adoption of smart grid technologies such as advanced metering systems in the distribution grid has become with the need to build in more security and flexibility to mitigate the emerging risk of exploiting this new connectedness. While a single device in the distribution system